Hello everybody, my name is Ratnos and welcome to one of a quick series of videos I wanted to make about some of the changes that are coming in patch 9.1. So I figured rather than doing like a 50-minute video rambling about all these things, I'd break it up into 5 or 6 shorter videos more focused on each topic. This will be both a summary, so if you don't know what's happening in 9.1, you can watch these videos and I'll explain all the things that are coming, and some analysis and thoughts about what's happening. So the first one is about Mythic Plus, and it's about Radar.io score. And this is news about patch 9.1 is basically that Blizzard is going to have an in-game version of Mythic Plus score. And Radar.io got the inside scoop on this because Blizzard, contacted them, and there's some cool information in this post as well, which I'll link in the description, about exactly how this will work, which I think a notable line in this is that they've designed theirs in a very similar way to how the Radar.io Mythic Plus scoring system works. So my gut reaction to this is probably a pretty good change for the game. Whether or not, so there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk negative reactions to this as well. There's a very vocal anti-Radar.io score system contingent of the community that on every post always tells Blizzard to, ban the add-on, ban the score. My position on this is that it's always been good when they've moved these sorts of things from third-party sites to in-game when they are widely used, because it really increases the accessibility, right? Whether or not you have concerns about people getting gatekept on their score, I think we can agree that it's better to have that in-game than out of the game, because it's another barrier to newer players, even knowing that they have to go to this third-party website, download this add-on, right, to get the score set up, versus having it just in-game. For Radar.io's side, I think this opens up a cool option for them to go on for more, supporting features, more like guild recruitment, Mythic Plus team recruitment, more kind of stuff built around the site now that the main Mythic Plus scoring is going to be built into the game. And this opens up some really cool things for how the game can reward Mythic Plus scoring. People have talked about wanting to see challenge mode style rewards, transmogs. I guess when I say people have talked about this, I've talked about this a lot. Wanting to see like challenge mode style rewards where there's transmogs and mounts and titles for Mythic Plus. And to some extent they've been working on this, right? There's a title and a mount for all the 10s in time and all the 15s in time this expansion, this season, and there was last season as well. And I think those are cool, but I think that it would be really cool to see even more stuff like that. In MoP, there were, if you had the fastest run of a given challenge mode dungeon, you got a teleport to that dungeon, and there were big, cool transmog pieces as well available for like all the golds and the silvers in the different dungeons. So seeing something like that where, now we can maybe have an achievement that's like, hey, collect 2,000 Mythic Plus score or whatever, and you get some cloak or tabard or, cool transmog set, weapon transmogs. Those were really a popular thing with the WoD challenge modes. There's some really iconic transmogs that came out of that. I think this is a cool step forward for Mythic Plus reward. I think this also opens up an interesting avenue for potentially either the new Mythic Plus in-game score or Radar.io now, with this kind of pressure lifted off of them, to experiment with a score system that removes the push week incentives. Let me explain a little bit what I mean by this. Right now, high-level teams basically only play 4 or 5 of the 12 weeks, and they kind of AFK the others. I mean, some of them will still play a little bit, but mostly AFK them. Every week with the word tyrannical on it, for instance, is a week where there's no real hope of pushing score if your scores were good from Fortified week. Like the only people who have tyrannical score are people who just played at a much higher level on the tyrannical weeks than they did on the Fortified weeks. A comparably skilled and geared team playing on a tyrannical and Fortified week at the push key level is going to have way higher scores on the Fortified week. So either at the version of the score that gets implemented in game, or now Radar.io could create a score system that designs an incentive where you don't have these some weeks where you have to play a lot and some weeks where you don't play at all, right? Think about other games. They don't have this kind of push week mentality. League of Legends, you can just queue it up and play a League of Legends game any week. It's not like it's offline for a week, which the level of high Mythic Plus pushing basically is offline every other week for a Tyrannical week. Here's how you could do this. Rather than having score be, based on the timer and the key level alone, you could also have it normalized based on the dungeon and the week. So say the best run of any given dungeon any week is worth 100 points. And then any run that is not the best run is a fraction of 100 points based on how close it was, right? So if the best run of Theater of Pain on a really bad week is like a 22, that's 100 points on that score point, right? And if you can then push and beat that with a 23 or with a faster 22, you get the 100 points, and that run gets downgraded to a 99.6 or a 92 or whatever based on how much you beat it by. And then if the best run on a good week of a better dungeon, Necrotic Wake on a good week is a 26, that's also worth 100 points, right? And this way, no matter what the dungeon is, whether in a perfect world, right, every week and every dungeon would be balanced close, ideally within like half a key level of difficulty of each other. But in the actual real world, that's not something that we've really come particularly close to over the past couple of expansions, right? You can compare the difference between Junkyard and King's Rest, and that was like a 4 keystone level difference. This expansion is not quite as wide, but I would say the level of competition is consistently going up and up and up, and making those smaller differences more and more noticeable. And so I think that this would be a cool thing to either do from Blizzard's end with the score, is come up with a way to have some sort of push week normalizing effect, at the very least, and dungeon normalizing effect as well, I think would be good. Or for Radar.io to do it now that they're in this position that their score system is being implemented into the core game. Yeah, those are just my brief thoughts on this. Again, on the whole, I think that it's good that this is being brought into the game. I think that, there's a lot kind of a knee-jerk argument against this sort of thing, against Mythic Plus scoring. That was the same argument. It's the same argument used to explain why I shouldn't make like tier list videos or videos explaining why specs are good, or it's the same argument used why gear score shouldn't exist, or why there shouldn't be in-game representations of item level. And the argument is basically some people are going to use this to gatekeep other people. And I don't think that we should be held hostage by, some people gatekeeping other people, because those people are going to do it anyways. They're going to do it with whatever is around, right? They're going to do it with link achievement if you don't have gear score or item level. They're going to do it with item level if you don't have Radar.io score. And they're going to do it with Radar.io score if they have it, right? Like that, it's not going to matter, right? Those people are going to gatekeep anyways. And that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have like good information and as much discussion and resources as we can about a game. I think that those are really good things in general. And the more of that, the better. So that's my usual take on that kind of broader issue. But I know that there will be some people in the comment section angry about this, and fair enough. I hope that I'm right and you're wrong, but I do empathize with not being able to get invited to groups. I do think that's tough. One final note on that is you always make your own group if you're having trouble getting invited, and you will quickly see why you're having trouble getting invited. Like 30 people apply to your group instantly, and so of course you just pick the one that's like 20 item levels higher than they need to be and has done 5 key levels higher, because you always get that person applying, right? You get a huge set of people applying to your group. So the more people create groups rather than try to apply to them, you get to be on the good side of that supply-demand thing. Anyways, a little bit of a ramble there. I want to try and keep this video short, so that'll be the end of this one. I will be making a lot of other videos about some of the other big news coming from 9.1, so stay tuned to this channel. I'll be releasing probably 2 per day for the next couple days about all of these new systems and stuff, and maybe I'll make a playlist about it as well. So yeah, check out my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Ratnos. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.